Alright, so the goddess our main character crushed on for years, Liu Ruyan, suddenly goes bankrupt.
With teary eyes and a trembling voice, she asks if he can lend her 1 million.
Her pale face breaks his heart.
But he half jokes, 1 million is not enough. I will give you 100 million.
Just marry me and it is a deal. He expects her to be mad, thinking he is humiliating her. But she just freezes for a second, looking directly up with those gorgeous, tearing eyes.
She stares right at him and says word for word, "Yes, I will marry you."
In that instant, all the cool confidence our regression MC built up completely shatters.
Plot twist? He is He Qiang. He is a returner who was a massive grindmaster in his past life. Fighting his way up from the absolute bottom, by 35, he owned billions in massive assets.
He became an absolute business legend. But get this, he was never truly happy.
Because his ultimate childhood crush, Liu Ruyan, passed away before he even made it big.
She passed away early. Ultimate tragedy. It all began with a sudden family bankruptcy that put her father in the hospital. Desperately needing surgery money, her toxic best friend, Bai Ningbing, stepped in.
She was also our main character's massive business rival in his past life.
She set a devious, toxic trap, forcing Ruyan to marry a total scumbag named Ji Boda.
After marriage, Ruyan's life was pure hell, and she eventually ended it in despair.
Ending her young life. He could never forget the scene at her funeral. That smug look on Bai Ningbing's cold face.
Or how that absolute scumbag Jimbo Whitteman immediately started squandering the entire family inheritance.
Back then, he was just a broke nobody who did not even have the right to comfort her.
That regret and helplessness gnawed at him like a venomous snake for his entire life.
So when he woke up after a heavy night of drinking, finding himself back at 22, one day before her family went bankrupt, the very first thing he did was write down every industry that would blow up over the next 10 years.
He handed it to his most loyal assistant, Chen Yu, who is basically the Wolf of Wall Street.
Talk about a walking cheat code. And then he set his ultimate life goal: chill out and protect Ruyan at all costs.
He does not want to be a legendary business tycoon anymore, just a wealthy slacker.
Just protecting his girl and eating the best food ever.
Drinking fine wine and working out until he gets a shredded 8-pack.
After all, health is wealth, and he calculated the exact timing for today.
Knowing that a desperate Ruyan would come looking for him this afternoon. In his past life, she begged everyone she knew, but only this ordinary classmate answered. He was the only one who picked up, but back then, he had nothing. Scraping together only 30,000 was a drop in the bucket. This time is different. When the doorbell rings, he's shirtless in the living room, wearing loose sweatpants. Just finishing his last set of abs, sweat dripping down his highly defined, toned body. Straight down his sharp obliques. He slowly walks over to open the door, and there she is, the girl of his dreams. Ruyan is wearing a faded dress, her hair slightly messy from running around. Those beautiful eyes that used to smile are now completely red like a rabbit's. Our female lead spots his bare chest and completely freezes, her cheeks instantly flushing bright red.
She panics and looks away, but her eyes unconsciously drift back to his absolutely shredded abs.
Lingering for 0.1 seconds.
He knows she must have gathered every ounce of her courage just to stand there. Crying out Karang's name, her voice shakes violently as he pretends to ask what happened to her dad. Trying to sound calm, he listens as she stammers that her father had a sudden brain hemorrhage. The surgery cost 1 million yuan, and she completely breaks down, tears streaming down her face. She begs him, crying that he is her absolute last hope to borrow the money. As He Qiang finishes her sentence, she nods frantically in desperate hope. Clutching at him like her final lifeline, she humbly admits she knows it is an insane amount. She knows he might not even have that much, but begs him to just say yes. She promises to sign an IOU and work like a slave for life to repay him. Seeing her so broken absolutely crushes his chest like a giant hand squeezing his heart. It hurts so bad because this is the girl he treasured more than life itself. The girl he spoiled to death, whose life was ruined by this exact debt in his past life. Dragging her straight into an abyss, our boy takes a deep breath to stay calm. Forcing down his raging emotions, he leans lazily against the doorframe to act cool.
Flashing a total playboy smirk, he casually asks Liu Ruyan what they even are to each other.
Just classmates. Her body instantly freezes.
Her face turns paper white as the light in her eyes completely dies out.
Cruel, but absolutely necessary. He quickly pivots, telling her that lending the money is not completely impossible.
He loves seeing hope reignite in her eyes after his sudden change of tone.
But 1 million is way too little, he says, leaving Liu Ruyan completely stunned.
As she stares in utter confusion, he raises a single finger and wiggles it.
Half joking, he offers her 100 million yuan as a bride price.
Marry me. Silence follows.
Honestly, he is fully prepared to get slapped across the face or called a bastard.
Because to anyone else, this looks like a toxic move to take advantage of her. Her current situation is basically like those ancient stories of girls selling themselves to save family. But he is only doing this to cut off all her escape routes, leaving her with absolutely no other choices. Once they are married, he plans to spoil her like an absolute princess.
He wants to show her this is not humiliation. He has loved her for 10 years.
But guys, Liu Ruyan's actual reaction completely catches him off guard. She just stares straight at him, swirling with an overwhelming mix of shock, humiliation, and deep struggle.
But above all, there is a fierce determination to burn all her bridges.
After a tense 30 seconds, right when he expects her to explode, she softens.
Speaking 3 words with absolute clarity. Fine. She will marry him.
Instantly, all 108 arguments he prepared in his head completely freeze up. Wait, this makes 0 sense. Shouldn't she reject him first, then slowly give in to his charms?
Why did she instantly agree, standing there with a pale but incredibly calm face? For the first time ever, our regressed MC starts questioning his entire rebirth. Our regression main character is literally wondering if he landed in a parallel universe. Why else would the school goddess Liu Ruyan have a massive crush on him? He actually stutters. First time our overpowered lead gets tongue-tied, and she just nods. With dead serious eyes, she tells him that 100 million is the price to buy her father's life. It saves her family, but she has conditions.
He forces himself to stay calm, because even though this twist is crazy, it works.
Her first rule, marriage in name only. No interfering. He agrees, since he has all the time in the world.
She calls it an investment she will repay with interest once their family company recovers.
He literally chuckles, asking if she is confused. He is buying her, no payback needed. He intentionally plays the dominant boss, saying she belongs to him now. She just bites her lower lip. Tearing up, but holding it in, she silently nods okay. Seeing her so submissive honestly makes his heart ache. He tells her to stop crying, grabbing some tissues from the cabinet for her. He shoves them over, asking if she brought her registration papers. She stares blankly and nods yes.
First the registry, then the hospital. He heads back to change.
Grabbing his keys, he is ready to roll.
She is dazed, so he snaps, asking if they should wait until her dad dies.
He speaks harshly, and she goes silent. Just 30 minutes later, it is done. They walk out of the registry office holding their marriage certificates. Under the glaring sun, her hands are shaking violently. It is like holding hot iron, and our boy sighs internally. He knows she feels humiliated, but they have plenty of time. He pulls out his phone and dials Assistant Chen. The man answers instantly, sounding totally hyped. Ever since our boy handed him that futuristic business plan, this middle-aged assistant has been different. He is working like a madman, like a cheat code switch got flipped. He basically wants to be on call 24/7. He is literally begging for work, so our main character gives him tasks. First, get the absolute best brain surgeons from Switzerland. Have them fly to the city hospital immediately on his tab. Second, transfer $100 million and then investigate the Liu Group. Find out what their rival company is plotting. He tells him to handle the rest, and Chen does not hesitate. Copy that, boss. Hanging up, he notices Liu Ruyan staring with a deeply confused expression. She is practically bursting to ask how a regular guy like him got this filthy rich. Or how he can easily mobilize international medical teams. In her past life, she died believing he was just an average guy. He raises an eyebrow, telling her he is no poor student. She knows nothing about him. Honestly, he is too lazy to explain. So she pulls him into his Rolls Royce, which, according to him, is his least flashy car. A Phantom. First stop, hospital. Her dad's situation is super urgent, so the car smoothly glides towards the city hospital. Silence fills the ride, but she clutches her marriage certificate like crazy. Once they arrive outside the operating room, Liu Ruyan's mom is there, pacing around in pure panic. She rushes over the second she sees them, desperately asking how Ruyan is doing. Ruyan reassures her that everything is sorted. She subconsciously glances at her MC, which finally makes her mom notice him standing there. The mom asks who he is, and Ruyan quickly covers by introducing him as her friend, He Qiang. It's a super vague introduction, but our guy honestly couldn't care less. He just nods. But right then, an absolutely disgusting voice echoes down the hallway, shouting out for Ruyan. The guy claims he has got her dad's surgery money ready, and of course he's decked out in designer gear. This sketchy-looking dude has his hair slicked back so greasy it practically shines. He is holding roses. It is Ji Boda. This is the actual villain who drove Ryan to her death in the past life. Seeing him makes our MC's eyes turn ice cold. No shot this clown delivered himself so fast. Ji Boda doesn't even notice our MC. He walks straight up to Ruyan. Trying to sound incredibly deep, he tells her he knows her family's in trouble. He tells her not to worry because a measly 1 million is literally nothing to him. Just agree to be my girl and everything is yours.
He grabs for her hand.
Ruyan flinches like she's looking at a literal ghost and takes a massive step back. She completely dodges his touch, coldly thanking Ji Boda, but telling him she is good. The dad's surgical fees are already taken care of. Her voice is pure ice. Our MC is actually pretty surprised. In his past life, even though she hated Ji Boda, she was still forced to accept his money just to save her dad. But now, Ji Boda's smile instantly freezes. He clearly never expected to get rejected so brutally and so fast. Laughing it off, he says 1 million is no joke and asks where she got that cash. He looks our MC up and down with absolute contempt in his eyes. Is this broke kid actually the savior? A guy wearing clothes that don't even add up to 500 yuan? Our MC just looks down at himself. Cheap cotton tee, sweatpants, and local sneakers. He definitely looks broke, but why waste energy on a clown? Honestly, looking at this guy is exhausting, so our MC just pulls up a chair. Sits down, pulls out his phone, and casually starts scrolling through social media.
Turns out the topic about Jing Hao not waking up again today is trending all over the hot searches.
Everyone is laughing because his company's stock is soaring just because he's lying flat. His workaholic employees are just built different. This complete lack of attention absolutely triggers Ji Boda. He snaps, demanding to know if our MC is deaf. He points at our MC, screaming about some spell he put on Ruyan. Bragging about his father, he claims his dad is the chairman of the G Group. Ji Boda immediately threatens He Qiang, warning him that he will get run out of town. But Ruyan steps right in front of He Qiang, giving Ji Boda the coldest death stare. She tells him to show some respect, because He Qiang is a friend she invited to help. It has absolutely nothing to do with him, and they will handle the money themselves. She tells him not to worry and demands that he leave right now. And to stop disturbing her father. Simple as that. Of course, Ji Boda laughs like it is a joke, asking if she has completely lost her mind. He mocks her pride, boasting that nobody else can casually drop 1 million yuan to save her dad. He smugly points at He Qiang, but our main character does not even bother to look up. He Qiang just calmly mutters that he is being way too noisy, and right on cue, heavy footsteps echo down the hall as the hospital director rushes over with his top staff. Completely drenched in sweat, the director anxiously asks who among them is Mr. He Qiang. He is practically gasping for breath, acting unbelievably respectful. He Qiang lazily raises a hand, and the director immediately jogs right over to him. Bowing at a 90-degree angle, he introduces himself as the head of the hospital.
He explains he just got word that Professor Chrisman from Switzerland
and his world-renowned medical team have already boarded a private jet, arriving in 3 hours. They have already prepared the absolute best operating theater in the building.
and the top VIP ward humbly asking if there is anything else they can do. The entire hallway goes dead silent, and Ruyan's mom is left completely speechless with shock. Honestly, Ji Boda's face is the best part. He looks like he just swallowed a fly.
Seriously, Professor Chrisman is basically a legendary cheat code in the medical world.
Even billionaires and royalty have to wait in line for years just to get his help.
Yet here he is, flying in on a private jet just for Ruyan's father. He Qiang just gives a casual nod, thanking him for the hard work.
Then he points at Ji Boda and tells them to kick him out because he is annoying. The director eagerly nods, instantly snapping at the security guards to get moving. He orders them to throw Ji Boda out and ban him from ever setting foot inside again. Ji Boda is absolutely losing his mind, screaming that his father owns a massive corporation.
He tries to threaten them further, but before he can even finish his sentence,
two massive guards grab him by the arms and drag his screaming self out of there. Finally, some peace and quiet, and that is when Ruyan's mom finally snaps out of it.
she walks over, trembling with emotion as she tries to find the words to thank him, calling him their savior. But He Qiang just smiles and tells her to relax.
He stands up, telling her she can just call him by his nickname. Then he looks over at Ruyan and casually adds that they are family now anyway. Her mother freezes in shock, and Ruyan instantly blushes bright red all the way to her ears. She stomps hard on his foot and drags him away from her mother. She whispers, asking what kind of nonsense he is talking, but He Qiang just shrugs. He pulls out the marriage certificates from his pocket and wiggles them with a grin. They are literally legally married now, so of course they are family. Completely speechless, she can only puff her cheeks and glare at him in adorable frustration. Watching her get all flustered like this puts He Qiang in a fantastic mood. Honestly, this emotional payoff is exactly why I love regression manhwas. She is finally alive. Just then, Assistant Chen calls him back, saying he has finally uncovered the truth. Ji's enterprise is currently executing a hostile takeover by snapping up Liu Group's retail shares. They also teamed up with suppliers to completely cut off their supply chain. Dirty tactics. In fact, they even bribed an insider executive to launch a coup at tomorrow's board meeting. Absolute trash behavior. Our regression main character just sneers, remembering how this exact combo ruined them back then. That combo completely destroyed the Liu family in his past life. He simply asks Assistant Chen what he thinks, turning the question back on him with a smirk. Silence on the line. Then, Assistant Chen gets so hyped, his voice literally starts cracking, guaranteeing he will crush these clowns. He promises to sweep away these scoundrels, and the main character looks at his worried wife, Liu Ruyan.
Is the company in trouble?
She is super sharp and already guessed the situation, but he just brushes it off. Nothing to worry about. Her only job right now is taking care of her dad while he handles everything else. She looks at him with eyes full of hesitation, yet completely relying on him now. His heart wakes up. That sweet moment wakes up his heart, and meanwhile, Professor Chrisman's medical team arrives with insane speed. The surgery is a massive success, and her father gets the best VIP suite. With top-tier nurses providing 24-hour care, Liu's mother can finally breathe a sigh of relief. She looks at him like a literal saint. Once the hospital situation is settled, he takes Liu Ruyan back to his own luxury place. It is a massive Riverview penthouse downtown, and per their deal, they are moving in together. He naturally drags her suitcase inside like it is the most normal thing ever. She silently consents.
Looking around the minimalist apartment, she notices it basically screams luxury in every single corner.
Feeling a bit shy, she hears him point out her room down the hall. He points to the master bedroom, and she immediately asks where he will be sleeping. Guest room only. She visibly relaxes, and he tells her to go take a shower and change. Pausing, he bluntly admits he does not really like the outfit she is currently wearing. She looks down at her faded, cheap dress and nervously pinches the hem. Embarrassed, she grips her clothes, but he decides not to push any further. Walking into the kitchen, he grabs a bottle of home-brewed plum wine from the fridge. Just relaxing now. In his past life, he drank way too much harsh liquor just for corporate meetings. This time around, he only drinks what he likes as Liu Ruyan steps out after showering. She is wearing a cozy set of loungewear he had Assistant Chen prepare beforehand. It looks so cute. With her wet hair draped over her shoulders, she still has that fresh shower glow.
Her cheeks are flushed rosy red like a ripe peach, looking completely adorable.
He gulps instinctively, cursing himself for being so easily flustered after 2 entire lifetimes. Where is his self-control?
She hesitates for a second, but obediently walks over to him anyway.
He has her sit on a bar stool and grabs the hairdryer, standing right behind her.
Incredibly gentle.
Warm blow-dryer air drifts through her hair. Sweet shampoo fills the room, but she is incredibly tense. She freezes.
From this angle, he can clearly see her blushing ears and slender neck.
He suddenly calls out her name, and her voice drops to a tiny whisper. Stop wearing that white dress.
Our main character leans in closer, whispering directly into her ear.
The girl who wore that dress to meet Ji Boda was not you.
Boom, she goes rock solid. She whips her head around in utter disbelief. Absolute shock floods her eyes as she asks how he even knows.
He smiles, playfully taps her nose.
He knows everything, including how Ji Boda and her bestie Bai Ningbing
were sneaking around behind her back.
This whole hero act was a setup to ruin her life.
She goes pale.
Hearing our main character confirm her worst fears changes everything. The raw pain of being betrayed by those closest to her is overwhelming. She cries out, asking why her best friend would do this.
Tears start welling up again.
He explains that she was always jealous of her. She was always jealous of her looks, her status, and her perfect life. But get this, Bai Ningbing is actually his ex-fiancée.
A massive rival.
She is basically your classic cold heiress. A total golden girl, but our MC knows the truth. Under that perfect frozen mask hides a twisted, deeply insecure soul. In his past life, she played the loyal bestie. She was quietly pushing Ruyan straight into a dark abyss. Too bad she never realized he only loved Ruyan. Seeing his girl about to collapse, he steps in. He sighs, pulls her close. No more trash. Gently patting her back, he tells her he is right here.
Nobody will ever hurt her again.
She leans into him, crying softly.
Holding on like a lifeline.
Clinging tightly to him as she finally feels safe. Honestly, I love this regression MC. He is built different. Every single trader is about to pay 100 times over. Next morning, bright, warm sunlight wakes him. He stretches and walks right out into the living area. The amazing aroma of fresh food fills the air. Breakfast is ready. A perfect spread is already waiting for him to enjoy. Our boy is completely stunned. In his past life, Liu Ruyan was highly spoiled rich heiress, let alone cooking. She barely even stepped into a kitchen back then. How is she doing this? Plus, it is all his favorite food. Hearing him, Liu Ruyan turns around with a shy smile, saying she just whipped up a little something.
She hopes it suits his taste, and he slowly walks over to the table.
He stares at the steaming bowl of porridge, his mind absolutely racing.
This hits way too close to home. Back when his startup was struggling,
his stomach ulcer flared up, and he only survived by imagining Liu Ruyan cooking him a warm bowl of porridge just like this.
He stares right at her, asking how she knew his favorites.
She quickly looks away, nervously claiming she just guessed. She is avoiding his gaze completely. She mentioned seeing cookbooks on his shelves, and he glances off. And yeah, they are there, but he only bought those after his regression. He got them to prepare for his lazy lifestyle, and she only arrived yesterday. When did she even notice? He feels suspicious, but lets it slide. He takes a sip and praises her cooking, saying it tastes great. The flavor is spot on. Hearing his praise, her eyes light up like a happy kid getting candy. She is just glad he likes it. Soon, breakfast is over. Our boy lounges on the couch to watch financial news. Meanwhile, Liu Ruyan is right beside him working hard on her laptop. Her brows are knit tight, still stressed about the company. He asks her about it lazily, and she just gives a nod. The Jia family hostile takeover is still going, and suppliers are backing out. They canceled contracts unilaterally, shutting down half of their production lines. The board meeting is this afternoon, and she is terrified. He looks at her. With me here, what are you afraid of? She looks up, seeing his usual lazy, slacker attitude. Her eyes are filled with pure doubt. She definitely does not believe him. Like, what can a guy who only scrolls on his phone actually do? Our boy does not explain. He just texts his assistant, Chen.
He asks how things are going, and the workaholic Chen immediately replies.
Everything is under control. The funds they use to buy up Liu's shares
Have already been shorted by us using 3 offshore shell companies with crazy moves. Now they cannot even afford the takeover and actually owe us $1 billion. As for those suppliers who backed out, their parent companies?
We bought them out completely last night. Chen already notified them as the new chairman.
They must resume supplying at triple the price or face bankruptcy. Chen also mentions that corrupt Vice President Li inside the company has been exposed. His embezzlement evidence was sent straight to his wife and authorities.
He's probably fighting for his life at home right now.
There is no way he makes the meeting. Assistant Chen is literally him. He tells the boss to just relax and enjoy some sweet couple time.
He Qiang gets a text from Assistant Chen saying dealing with minor stuff like this is his job.
Reading through the long list of updates, our main character just smirks with total satisfaction. Now that is professional, truly the absolute best overachiever he personally trained. He pockets his phone and tells a very stressed Liu Ruyan to relax.
She should stop worrying and just head to the afternoon board meeting as planned.
He promises her a massive surprise, leaving poor Ruyan looking completely lost.
He just winks and tells her she will see when she gets there.
Keeping her in suspense, our guy does not even show up to the board meeting.
A minor event like this is not worth his time, so he sends Assistant Chen instead. Chen goes as He Qiang's private investment advisor to back Liu Ruyan up.
Meanwhile, our main character is chilling at home with some nice plum wine. He is watching a live stream of the meeting, courtesy of Assistant Chen. The assistant wanted his boss to feel like a master strategist pulling the strings. That behind-the-scenes boss energy is unmatched, but inside the boardroom, things are extremely tense. The older shareholders are sweating because the big boss, Chairman Liu, is still unconscious. The company is completely leaderless, and their stock price is absolutely tanking.
Production lines have totally shut down, leaving everyone in a panic.
Everyone is blaming that scumbag rival company Ji Shi for kicking him while they are down. Even worse, Vice President Li completely vanished right when they needed him most. He is not even answering his phone. But just as everyone is losing hope, the boardroom doors fly open and Liu Ruyan walks in looking incredibly sharp. Right behind her is a guy looking like a total boss in a suit. It is Assistant Chen, radiating pure confidence as everyone turns to stare.
A director named Wang, who is close to her family, asks why she is there.
He is genuinely shocked, but she politely greets him as Uncle Wang. Taking a deep breath, Liu Ruyan scans the room and addresses the board. She firmly announces that starting today, she is taking over as acting chairperson. She will be managing everything. But the moment she says this, the entire room erupts into absolute chaos, calling it complete nonsense. They ask what a young girl like her could possibly know about running a massive business. They warn her she will just ruin the company faster, urging her to listen to them. To them, the only option left is to let their rival Ji Shi buy them out. They think it is the only way to save their assets, but she ignores the noise. Calmly, she tells the room that she completely understands all of their concerns. But she refuses to sell her father's life work, turning her gaze to Assistant Chen. Stepping forward, the assistant immediately projects a massive document onto the main screen. He introduces himself as Chen Yu, the private investment advisor to He Qiang. His voice is extremely confident as he explains he is here on He Qiang's behalf. They have already injected 1 billion yuan into the group, and starting today, he will act as chief strategist to help Miss Liu run the entire operation. 1 billion! Talk about flexing on the haters. The entire room goes dead silent. But wait, he is not done yet. He immediately drops a second document. The massive raw material shortage that was ruining them is now fully resolved. He Qiang has officially bought out the parent companies of all 3 major suppliers. Starting tomorrow, they will supply everything at 30% below market price. Unlimited backing goes straight to the Liu Group, while the rival Ji Group? Assistant Chen pushes up his gold glasses, eyes gleaming with calculated brilliance. They are completely toast.
powerless to threaten Leo Group anymore as their stock price nosedives on screen.
News of impending bankruptcy hits, leaving the entire meeting room dead silent. Every board member is staring at Liu Ruyan and Chen like they are literal gods. 1 second their business is dying, and the next they secure $1 billion. Talk about a wild comeback. They absolutely folded their rivals. What a wild play. And the mastermind? It points to a mysterious shadow boss named He Qiang who is quietly watching. Those greedy directors who tried to kick her out are now shamelessly begging for favor.
Total hypocrites. He Qiang just finds it hilarious.
That is the power of money, with He Qiang's girl now standing right at the top.
Getting the respect she deserves. Liu Ruyan looks directly at the camera, as if staring straight at him.
Her relieved smile is mixed with a complex emotion he cannot quite decode.
Just like that, the massive crisis threatening her company is resolved,
saving the day like an absolute legend. But while she takes the spotlight, He Qiang is still chilling behind the scenes. He Qiang is still living his best lazy life. He brews wine while Liu Ruyan stays incredibly busy, working day and night. Yet no matter how late, she always cooks for him. Her culinary skills are getting insane, effortlessly mastering everything from Chinese breakfast to French fine dining. Even high-end Japanese dishes, there is literally nothing she cannot make. And every single meal hits his taste buds perfectly.
But this gets He Qiang thinking, how does a pampered rich heiress learn all this?
No one turns into an all-around master chef in a few days.
Is it just a coincidence, or is she hiding something?
Late one night, Liu Ruyan comes home looking completely exhausted. But she still has this massive smile, telling him they finally made it. She immediately throws her arms around him. Her soft, fragrant body crashes right into his chest.
He Qiang holds her back, placing his hands right on her slender waist. Feeling her warmth, he smiles and asks what success she is talking about.
He is low-key enjoying this cozy moment. She proudly explains that their brand new Wei Yang product series launched today.
Sales already crossed 100 million as she looks up at him.
Her starry eyes are glowing. He smiles and says they definitely need to celebrate.
She promises to head straight to the kitchen to cook his favorite meal. But as she tries to slip away, he pulls her back closer.
There is no rush to cook, he murmurs.
His burning gaze locks onto hers as he asks if she can answer something. Blushing under his intense stare, she asks what he wants to know.
He leans right in to whisper in her ear. Did you already know this is my favorite? At his question, Liu Ruyan instantly freezes.
She looks up, eyes completely panicking.
Like a startled deer, she stammers that she had no idea. She claims she just saw the recipe online and wanted to make something healthy for him.
She stutters out this weak explanation, completely avoiding our boy's eyes. She is lying. Our boy is absolutely sure. From the millet porridge on day one to this complex dish, she knows his tastes too well.
This is way beyond a coincidence, especially when you look at her past behavior. Her extreme hatred for Ji Boda and how fast she agreed to marry him, super suspicious. At this point, a crazy theory starts forming in our main character's head.
A wild theory. But then his phone rings.
It is Assistant Chen calling to say there is a huge charity gala tomorrow night. The powerful Bai family is hosting it, and they invited both him and his wife.
Hearing the name Bai Ningbing, our boy narrows his eyes. He smirks. Of course they are going. It is time to settle some old debts, and honestly, he is dying to see something.
How will his sweet wife react when she sees her toxic best friend? Cut to the charity gala.
Held at the Bai family's 7-star hotel, our MC shows up in casual clothes. He looks completely out of place in this room full of wealthy elites.
Meanwhile, Liu Ruyan looks stunning in a moonlight white gown, hair up like a literal goddess. Absolutely breathtaking. The moment they walk in, every single eye is on them. People start whispering, asking if that beautiful girl is the new Liu family president.
And then they notice our boy, wondering why he is dressed so casually.
He looks like her bodyguard, but some people claim they know the truth. They whisper that he is just a gold digger, and the Liu family only survived because he connected them to a mysterious boss, so Liu Ruyan married him out of gratitude. The gossip buzzes around like annoying flies, but our boy does not care at all.
He casually grabs a glass of juice from a passing waiter's tray. Not his favorite rice wine, 0 out of 10. But Liu Ruyan is turning pale.
She quickly steps closer to him and softly apologizes for the scene.
Disrespected? Our boy just laughs it off.
He tells her that being spoiled by a gorgeous wife is his absolute dream. Amused and slightly annoyed by his shamelessness, she gives him a playful pinch. But of course, a cold, mocking voice ruins the moment from behind them.
She sneers that Liu Ruyan has really hit a new low. They turn around.
And there she is, Bai Ningbing, wearing a dramatic dark evening gown. Holding a glass of red wine, she glares at them with pure contempt. She looks our boy up and down, making absolutely no effort to hide her disgust. Then she turns to Liu Ruyan, mocking her for having 0 actual talent. Calling our boy a useless pretty boy, she asks if her family ran out of men. Pure poison. Her words are incredibly toxic. Liu Ruyan instantly turns pale. In his past life, Bai Ningbing did the exact same thing, using the most hurtful insults to slowly shred Liu Ruyan's self-esteem over and over. Just as our boy is about to step in, Liu Ruyan holds him back. Taking a deep breath, she looks Bai Ningbing dead in the eyes. Liu Ruyan just smirks and asks Bai Ningbing if she is literally just jealous of her. Bai Ningbing sneers in pure jealousy, mocking her for picking a completely useless loser. But Liu Ruyan just shakes her head, and then she does something completely unexpected. She pulls a move that shocks the entire room, wrapping her arms around He Qiang's neck.
She plants a loud, loving kiss right on his cheek, then turns to face a completely stunned Bai Ningbing.
She looks her dead in the eye and tells her that she's just jealous of the man by her side. He is the one she loves, while Bai Ningbing has never even known what love feels like. She boasts that even in cheap bargain clothes, her boyfriend shines brighter than any star. If he wants to just lie flat and relax, she will gladly work hard to spoil him. That is real romance, and a bitter, unloved woman like her could never understand. Talk about a double standard. She does not even try to hide it. Looking at this absolutely feisty girl in his arms, He Qiang is low-key thrilled. Let's be real, this double standard moment is exactly what we have all been waiting for. Bai Ningbing gets completely shut down, her face turning an incredibly angry shade of purple. She is shaking with absolute rage, pointing at Liu Ruyan without being able to squeeze out a single word. But right at that moment, an absolute heavyweight enters the room. Leaning on a cane is Elder Li, a multi-billionaire business legend in the city. He walks in surrounded by a massive crowd, as everyone quickly parts to make way. People greet him with deep respect, forcing Bai Ningbing to instantly hide her burning rage. She plasters on a fake smile and rushes over to welcome Elder Li. But Elder Li completely ignores her, walking right past her straight toward He Qiang. Under everyone's completely shocked gazes, this powerful billionaire does the unthinkable. A man who can literally shake the entire city's business world turns to this supposed toy boy. He bows deeply with utmost respect, politely greeting He Qiang. He asks why He Qiang did not let him know earlier so he could personally welcome him. The entire hall falls into dead silence as everyone's jaw hits the floor. Bai Ningbing looks like she just saw a ghost, her face turning a million different colors. He Qiang lazily raises his glass of juice, saying he was just passing by to look around. By the end of the night, Bai Ningbing is easily the biggest laughingstock of the party. Meanwhile, He Qiang goes from a simple toy boy to the most mysterious man in town. After all, can anyone who makes Elder Li bow like that actually be ordinary? Absolutely no shot, and instantly wild rumors about his true identity begin to spread everywhere. Some people guess that he is the heir to a massive, top-tier family from the capital. He is apparently just pretending to be normal, to experience what a simple life is like. Others whisper that he secretly controls a colossal global conglomerate with endless wealth. Basically, nobody dares to call him a freeloading leech anymore as they head home after the party. Driving home, He Qiang notices Liu Ruyan constantly stealing glances at him and tells her to just ask. She finally cracks and asks what his actual relationship with Elder Li is. He Qiang casually explains that the old man is basically half his student from his past life. Back then, He Qiang gave him some crucial advice when his investments were failing. But he keeps the fact that Elder Li was over 80 years old then to himself.
He Qiang was only 30 at the time, which Liu Ruyan clearly does not believe.
Still, she has no way to disprove it, leaving a pretty heavy silence in the car. The second they get home, she grabs his arm before he can even head to the shower. She looks incredibly serious and tells He Qiang that they need to have a real talk.
He Qiang instantly knows the truth is coming.
They sit on the living room sofa, keeping a tense 1-meter gap between them. Liu Ruyan cuts straight to the chase. Who are you really? He replies he is her husband, He Qiang, but she tells him to stop playing dumb. Growing emotional, she says he is not the same He Qiang she used to know. How does he know so much, and where did all his insane influence come from?
She stops talking and takes a deep breath.
Then she finally drops the ultimate question. Did he regress too? There it is, the big reveal. He Qiang just looks back and asks, what about her?
Their eyes lock, freezing the air. Both of them see the exact same shock in their eyes. You actually regressed, too, they both blurted out. The next second, Liu Ruyan completely breaks down. She suddenly lunges forward, wrapping her arms around him in a tight hug. Burying her face deep in his chest, she lets out a raw, sobbing cry,
venting all the pain of 2 entire lifetimes.
She calls him a jerk, asking why he did not just tell her sooner. She sobbed, asking if he had any idea how terrified she was all alone. She repeatedly beats her fists against his chest. He just lets her vent, holding her as close as possible. He gently strokes her back, whispering apologies into her ear over and over. He confesses that he had no idea. So she is a returner too, and suddenly everything starts to click. No wonder she instantly agreed to his crazy proposal to swap marriages. That explains why she absolutely despised Ji Boda and Bai Ningbing. It makes sense why she cooked his favorite foods.
She carried her past life memories right when he proposed.
She did not see humiliation, but actual salvation in her dark world. Honestly, this realization is low-key heartbreaking, and he feels like a total idiot. He actually thought his smooth plan was what forced her hand. Once her crying finally slows down, he gently asks when she regressed. She sniffles, replying it was the morning of her father's accident. She woke up right before the tragedy.
Having no clue what to do, she only knew she could not repeat her tragic past.
She wanted to find him, but had no idea how to even start. After all, they were just classmates back then.
He finishes her sentence, and she nods.
She just wanted to see his face one last time. She blushes, admitting she never expected him to make such a bold proposal. She asks if he thought she was completely shameless.
Looking up at him nervously, He Qiang just smiles.
He calls her a dummy, amazed by how smart his wife was. She picked up on his real motive, wondering what that motive was. The real goal was marrying her, and she was always the only one. His voice is soft, but carries an absolute promise. Ruyan's eyes instantly tear up again, but this time it is purely out of love. She leans in and kisses He Qiang, and honestly, this kiss hits different. It is not a quick peck like at the banquet, but carries 2 lifetimes of longing. It is passionate and long, moving them from the couch all the way to the floor. Soon they end up on the bed as clothes scatter everywhere. When He Qiang touches her soft skin, the tension is unreal. He stops and asks her if she is scared, looking into her hazy eyes. She shakes her head and wraps her legs around his waist, choosing him completely. She whispers to He Qiang that she has waited 2 lifetimes for this very night. They spend the night erasing all their past regrets, and honestly, it is so satisfying to see. The night is deep, and their real story is finally getting started. After finally crossing that line, their dynamic completely changes. They go from being a contract couple in a fake marriage to acting like newlyweds in absolute honeymoon mode, and even the assistant is sick of the PDA. Assistant Chen brings in the next quarter's strategic plans, trying to stay professional. He asks if they can review it while standing awkwardly in the living room. He has to watch them cuddling on the couch and feeding each other grapes. His eye is literally twitching, while He Qiang does not even look up. He Qiang catches another grape from Ruyan and tells the assistant to just handle it. He yells to not bother him with work since he is busy bonding with his wife.
Ruyan blushes hard, pushing He Qiang away and telling him to stop talking nonsense.
She says work comes first and immediately gets to reviewing the papers.
Honestly, she is the perfect partner, both sweet and incredibly reliable.
He Qiang just wants to play lazy, but then he remembers something and asks the assistant.
He wants to know what is going on with Bai Ningbing and Ji Boda.
Mentioning those two names instantly makes the assistant look dead serious.
He reports that G Group has officially gone bankrupt and is undergoing liquidation. Boda and his dad are drowning in billions of debt with all assets frozen. They do not even have a place to live, but the assistant has men watching them.
Last night, they actually got into a fist fight under a bridge over a single piece of bread.
Really? Now He Qiang is actually getting interested.
Is there a video?
He tells him to send it over.
Assistant Chen has it ready, and He Qiang tells him good job.
He nods in satisfaction, telling his man to keep watching so they do not die.
They should not get off easy either, as they need to feel real suffering. They must pay for everything they did to Ruyan in their past life.
He Qiang says this calmly, but Ruyan understands the deep protection behind his words.
She sets the papers down and gently holds his hand. She softly thanks him, but he just asks what she is thanking him for. He holds her hand back, telling her that protecting her is his only job.
She then asks hesitantly about what will happen to Bai Ningbing.
At that name, Assistant Chen looks a bit awkward as he addresses Ruyan.
He explains that the Bai family situation is a bit complicated after that last banquet.
Her family status completely plummeted because the old patriarch was incredibly disappointed. He stripped her of all power, and now she is basically under house arrest. The assistant pauses, mentioning that Bai Ningbing has actually tried to contact He Qiang several times.
She wants a meeting to apologize to He Qiang and his wife. Talk about having absolutely zero self-awareness.
But Liu Ruyan coldly shuts that down, refusing to see her. Honestly, the pain of being betrayed by your closest friend is not something a cheap apology can ever fix. He Qiang nods along. He tells the assistant that his wife said no, so that is the final word. He orders him to block her number immediately, no second chances, no matter what. The assistant agrees, and they both think this drama is finally behind them. But they totally underestimated Bai Ningbing's obsession. A few days later, He Qiang and his wife head out. They go to a private restaurant that is incredibly exclusive and almost impossible to book. Rumor has it the eccentric owner only serves customers he personally likes. But that is no issue for He Qiang, considering he literally owns the entire place. Talk about a flex. The moment they sit down in their private room, the door suddenly flies open. Boom! There is Bai Ningbing looking absolutely haggard. She has heavy dark circles under her eyes, yet she is still rocking an expensive custom suit. Desperately clinging to her dignity, she demands to know why they are here. The moment she spots them, pure shock flashes across her face. But that quickly twists into intense jealousy. He Qiang just shrugs and asks why they shouldn't be there. He lazily reminds her that she is actually the one who is not welcome. Right on cue, the restaurant manager comes rushing over in a panic. The manager apologizes, terrified, explaining he has no idea how this woman slipped inside. As the manager offers to throw her out, Liu Ruyan suddenly tells him to wait. She looks directly at Bai Ningbing, calmly asking what she actually wants from them. Bai Ningbing ignores her completely, glaring at He Qiang and demanding to know where she falls short. Status, talent, everything, how is she better? Why won't he just look at her? Honestly, this is the question she has harbored for 2 entire lifetimes. Before He Qiang can even answer, his wife just chuckles. She tells Bai Ningbing that she still does not get it. It is not about being worse. The truth is, she is rotten to the core. If she cannot have something, she destroys it. But He Qiang's love is all about protecting. When she was struggling in the mud, he did not mock her or take advantage of her pain.
He dragged her out. They are worlds apart.
Every single word hits like a dagger, slicing right through Bai Ningbing's ego. Her face turns completely pale as she mutters that she had already lost from the very start. He Qiang delivers the final blow, coldly adding that she never stood a chance anyway. He has loved his wife for 2 whole lifetimes, while Bai Ningbing is not even an extra to him.
That is the absolute breaking point. Bai Ningbing stumbles back, completely shattered.
All her energy is drained as she collapses onto the floor, staring at their joined hands.
She sees the pure love and connection between them, and she just cannot handle it.
She breaks down into hysterical laughter.
She laughs that it was 2 lifetimes all along. No wonder she lost so badly.
Her laughter turns to sobbing as her makeup runs everywhere.
She is no longer that untouchable CEO, just a pathetic loser who has completely hit rock bottom.
Honestly, seeing her breakdown does absolutely nothing to He Qiang. There is zero sympathy here, only disgust. The trauma she caused his wife in their past life is something she will have to spend her entire life regretting. Finally, the manager drags her out.
As Quiet returns to the private room, Liu Ruyan gently looks at her husband.
She softly asks He Qiang if she was too cruel, but he just pulls her into his arms. Kissing her forehead, he assures her she is the sweetest woman in the world.
Dealing with bad guys requires ruthless methods. She smiles, leaning her head gently on He Qiang's shoulder.
Glad you are here. Same here, he smiles.
Now that those annoying pests are finally dealt with, their dinner tastes absolutely amazing. Finally, He Qiang and Liu Ruyan can get their peaceful lives back on track.
She rules the business world as a gorgeous president, making decisive, ruthless moves.
Her leadership takes the Liu Group to the absolute peak, turning her into a legendary business queen. Meanwhile, He Qiang happily lives the slacker life, working out and cooking delicious meals.
He loves trying out new recipes while casually checking the internet.
Checking what memes his employees made today, like Jing Hao asking if He Qiang got out of bed yet.
Honestly, this meme about his laziness is literally the stock market indicator for the company.
As long as He Qiang stays out of the office, the stock price steadily rises. But the moment he decides to drop by for a casual visit, the market absolutely panics and crashes.
Terrified retail investors constantly flood the company's official page with desperate messages begging for mercy.
They are literally pleading for someone to keep their boss locked inside his house. Please, Mr. He, we beg of you, just stay home and be a comfortable slacker.
Do not come out to terrify us poor retail investors. We strongly advise President Liu locks Chairman He inside.
Every single time He Qiang reads these ridiculous comments, he cannot stop laughing his head off.
On the other side, Liu Ruyan just watches him with a mixture of helplessness and pure adoration. She playfully confiscates his phone and pushes him down on the couch to give him a nice massage.
Asking if his eyes are tired from reading nonsense, she offers to rub his shoulders. So he happily rests his head on her soft lap, fully enjoying his lovely wife's personal VIP service.
Of course, he cannot stay still and playfully slides his hand under her shirt.
He gently caresses her soft waist while playfully teasing her to rub just a little bit harder.
"Stop moving around, He Qiang," she says, blushing as she pats his hand away. He quickly grabs her hand, plants a kiss on it, and gives his wife a teasing smirk. He whispers about trying out their newly bought outfits tonight, causing her face to turn completely bright red.
Their life is filled with these sweet, simple moments, and honestly, this wholesome payoff hits so different.
They love cooking together and snuggling on the couch to watch classic movies. They also nap together under the warm afternoon sun, and they even adopted a ragdoll cat.
This little guy is named Yuan Bao because he cost He Qiang a dowry of 100 million.
Yuan Bao is super clingy, and he especially loves falling asleep right on top of He Qiang's six-pack abs.
Liu Ruyan always gets jealous and takes the cat away so she can lie down there instead.
"This spot belongs exclusively to me," she always declares with adorable, bossy authority. Of course, they still have minor fights, like when he sneaks a cold beer.
If she catches him, she gets so annoyed that she ignores him for 3 days.
He has to pull out all his tricks, acting cute and writing silly apology letters.
Finally, a long night of deep bonding is the only way to win back his wife. Time flies by, and soon it is already the first anniversary of their marriage.
For their first wedding anniversary, Liu Ruyan literally clears her entire busy schedule and cancels all work.
She promises to show him a surprise and takes him out to the beach. Under the gorgeous golden sunset, the waves wash over the sand, coloring the whole beach in warm light.
Listening to the peaceful ocean breeze, Liu Ruyan softly takes his hand in hers.
Walking barefoot along the quiet beach, Liu Ruyan gently asks He Qiang if he still remembers this place.
Her sudden question leaves him standing there completely frozen. You see, this is where he confessed. It was his past life, back when his career was first starting. He had finally built up courage. He invited her to this quiet beach, preparing beautiful, fresh flowers. A ring was ready, along with a confession speech, but she never actually showed up. It was only much later that he learned she was actually forced to marry that jerk Ji Boda that very day. This very spot was where all his past life regrets had officially started, making his voice grow a bit raspy. I am so sorry, Liu Ruyan says, turning around to face him with her eyes turning red. She whispers that she broke her promise back then, but He Qiang gently reaches out to wipe her tears away. He tells her that she made it this time, and she softly nods, tipping up on her toes to kiss him.
Under the gorgeous sunset, their shadows stretch out super long on the sand, and she softly calls his name.
She eagerly suggests having a grand wedding, promising she will wear the most beautiful bridal gown in the entire world. He happily agrees, and she declares that she wants the entire world to know He Qiang is her husband.
She tells him he is her only true love in this lifetime, making He Qiang smile warmly at his wife.
Everything you say sounds amazing, he says, but there is actually one important thing we need to handle first. When she asks what it is, he suddenly scoops her up in his arms and heads straight for the beach villa.
Their wedding is absolutely massive, and honestly, seeing every high society elite in the city show up hits so different.
Old Master Lai personally hosts the ceremony, getting so incredibly emotional that he literally starts crying tears of joy. He loudly announces that being able to witness their union is honestly the greatest honor of his entire life.
Meanwhile, Assistant Chen is acting like the bride's proud family, crying even harder than the old man himself.
He keeps wiping his tears while sobbing so dramatically. The assistant squeaks out that he is just so happy to see his boss living the dream. He claims he can die happy now, which honestly leaves He Qiang completely speechless. His boss internally begs him not to die, since the company still completely relies on him. When Liu Ruyan walks out wearing the absolutely gorgeous wedding gown He Qiang custom designed for her, she looks like a literal fairy tale princess.
As she slowly walks down the aisle, arm in arm with her father, coming closer to He Qiang.
It truly feels as if all the light in the entire universe is shining directly on her. Her father is now fully recovered from his illness, looking incredibly healthy and absolutely glowing with pride. Looking full of energy, he takes Liu Ruyan's hand and gently places it into He Qiang's hand. He pats He Qiang on the shoulder, speaking to him with absolute seriousness. The father says he is trusting him with his daughter, but if He Qiang ever dares to mistreat her, he will risk his old life to make him pay, but He Qiang quickly reassures him to set his mind at ease.
Gripping her hand tightly, He Qiang makes a solemn vow to her father that in this lifetime,
and in his next life, and every lifetime after, she is the only one he will ever love. Right when they are about to exchange rings, he suddenly spots Bai Ningbing standing in the crowd.
she showed up completely uninvited, quietly standing all alone in the most hidden corner of the venue.
Wearing a simple, plain black dress with absolutely no makeup on her face. With a completely bare face, she just quietly stands there watching them from a distance. She stares at the sheer happiness on Liu Ruyan's face before slowly looking over at He Qiang. Seeing the pure, deep affection in his eyes, all the old jealousy and hatred finally vanish from her. Only endless loneliness and regret remain in her eyes as He Qiang and Liu Ruyan share their sweet wedding kiss.
He watches her quietly slip out of the venue, and honestly, seeing the villain finally regret everything hits so different.
But for He Qiang and Liu Ruyan, their beautiful journey is only beginning as the wedding ceremony wraps up. Instead of jetting off to some typical touristy honeymoon spots, they decide to head straight back to their peaceful beach house. And that night, they lie in bed together, listening to the gentle sound of the waves right outside. Liu Ruyan softly calls out to her husband, and he immediately pulls his wife close. She whispers that everything still feels like a dream. The past was too painful. Her biggest fear is that if she opens her eyes, this happiness will just vanish. He gently kisses her head, taking her hand and placing it straight over his heart. It is beating for her, strong and real. Then he guides her hand lower, pressing her palm against his toned abs.
He teases her, asking if she still wants to use them as a pillow.
Her face instantly blushes.
She playfully hits him, but he just laughs and rolls over to pin her down. Time to get down to business.
Outside, gentle moonlight spills through the window as the quiet ocean waves crash.
It is literally the perfect romantic background noise. This author actually cooked with this atmosphere.
After 2 brutal lifetimes, their happy ending is finally locked in. No taking this second chance for granted.
They cherish every quiet moment. Then he softly calls out to his wife.
He asks for some warm porridge tomorrow, and she happily agrees. Talk about ultimate domestic bliss. No crazy fights, just having your favorite person close and a warm meal waiting. And just like that, they live happily ever after.